What if the deadliest battles weren't fought by bullets, but by the fear no soldier could escape?
They told us the island was empty, but the moment our boots hit the sand, we felt it, eyes watching from somewhere we couldn't see. Why did the birds suddenly stop singing? Why did the wind go completely silent? And why did Private Hale swear he saw figures moving in the tall grass, even though no one else did? Something was terribly wrong here, and whatever lived on this island wasn't afraid of us at all. We moved cautiously into jungle, each step muffled by thick moss and fallen leaves. Then it started, a faint whispering impossible to locate. Was it the wind or something alive, whispering secrets only we could hear? Sergeant Welsh swore the voices were calling our names, guiding us deeper into the shadows. And every time we turned, nothing, but the feeling of being watched never left. A sudden shot rang out, echoing through the dense jungle. Private Larkin fell silently, his eyes wide with disbelief. But we hadn't seen the enemy yet, so who fired? Every shadow seemed alive, moving just beyond our vision. And when we turned, we realized something even stranger. The tracks leading to him weren't human. Something out here was hunting us, and it had learned to hide in plain sight. We sent a small patrol to scout ahead, but minutes later, nothing. Not a sound, not a footprint. It was as if they had simply vanished into thin air. Sergeant Welsh's voice trembled as he called for them, but only the echo returned. And then we noticed the jungle had shifted. Paths we just walked were gone, replaced by thick vines and shadows that hadn't been there before. Something was reshaping this place around us. As night fell, the jungle came alive with unseen eyes. Every rustle, every snap of a branch felt deliberate, as if something was studying us. Corporal Daniel swore he saw shapes moving just beyond the firelight, always gone when we looked directly. And then the whispers returned, clearer this time, almost beckoning. Were they human? Were they something else entirely? And why did the soldiers feel drawn toward them, despite knowing it was a trap? Suddenly, the jungle erupted in chaos. Gunfire, screams, and explosions. But no one could see the enemy. Bullets whizzed past, tearing into trees and earth, yet shadows moved with intelligence beyond human. Lieutenant Parker shouted orders, but his men were scattered, terrified. And when the echoes finally faded, there was no one left except the eerie silence and the lingering sense that something unseen had chosen its prey. Corporal Jenkins had vanished. One moment he was beside us, the next gone. No footprints, no struggle, just the faintest rustle in the undergrowth. Private Hale swore he heard Jenkins' voice calling for help, but when we ran toward it, silence. It felt as if the jungle itself had swallowed him whole. And the deeper we went, the more we realized whatever was out here didn't just hunt us, it toyed with us. We reached a river that should have been teeming with life, but it was completely silent. No birds, no insects, not even the ripple of fish. The water was unnaturally still, reflecting the soldiers' anxious faces like a mirror. Private Larkin leaned over to look and froze. Something moved beneath the surface, just out of reach, large and deliberate. We backed away, but the feeling remained. The river was watching us, and it had been waiting. As dawn broke, a thick fog rolled in from the jungle floor, swallowing the soldiers' legs and muffling every sound. Visibility dropped a few feet, and every step felt like walking into a trap. Then came the whispers, soft, distant, almost mocking. Lieutenant Parker strained to listen, convinced he could hear the patrol's voices mixed in. But the fog wasn't natural. It moved with a purpose, guiding some, hiding others, and making us question whether we'd ever escape. We stumbled into a clearing dominated by a single massive tree, twisted, ancient, towering above everything else. But something felt wrong. Not a single bird rested on its branches, not even an insect buzzed nearby. Private Hale pointed out deep claw marks running down the bark, marks far too large for any animal on the island. And when the wind blew, the tree groaned as if something inside it was trying to get out. What exactly had carved those marks? And was it still close? Private Hale noticed it first, a hollow thump beneath his boots, like the ground was empty under us. When we scraped away the leaves, we found a wooden trapdoor buried under roots and dirt, worn by age but still intact. Lieutenant Parker ordered it opened, and the moment we lifted it, a cold rush of air poured out, carrying a strange metallic echo from below. Who built a hidden tunnel in the middle of a deserted island? And why did it sound like something down there was moving? We climbed down into the tunnel, our boots echoing against old wooden beams. The deeper we went, the colder the air became. So cold we could see our breath. Then we heard it, a slow, steady rhythm, like breathing. But it wasn't human. The tunnel walls vibrated gently, dust falling from above as if something enormous was inhaling nearby. And when our flashlights flickered, we saw fresh footprints in the dirt, leading deeper into the darkness. Someone had been here just moments before us. The tunnel finally opened into a massive underground chamber, carved by hand, lit only by shafts of sunlight leaking through cracks in the ceiling. Old crates, rusted helmets, and forgotten equipment lay scattered across the floor. But the strangest part was the center, a large stone slab covered in carvings none of us recognized. Private Hale reached out to touch it, and the air shifted. The breathing stopped. Then, from the darkness behind the slab, came a slow, dragging sound, something waking up. The dragging sound grew louder, scraping against the stone floor. Our flashlights trembled as we aimed them toward the slab, and something ducked out of sight, too fast to follow. Lieutenant Parker motioned us back, but the ground began to tremble, just slightly, like footsteps from something heavy below the chamber. Then the carvings on the stone slab caught the light, and we saw fresh scratches carved over the originals. Something down here wasn't ancient. It was alive, and it was warning us. A sudden crack split through the stone slab, echoing across the chamber like a rifle shot. Dust exploded outward as a long, pale hand emerged, thin, trembling, searching the air like it hadn't touched daylight in decades. Private Hale stumbled back, dropping his rifle. The hand curled, gripping the edge of the slab as something massive pulled itself upward. The soldiers froze, terrified, as a second hand appeared beside the first. Whatever was trapped inside, that stone wasn't dead, it was waking up. The massive slab cracked wider, and the thing trapped beneath finally revealed itself. Its face was pale and shadowed, eyes hollow yet intelligent, scanning the chamber with awareness. The soldiers froze, every muscle stiff, as it pulled itself upright. Bones cracked unnaturally, like metal under pressure. And then it whispered, an unintelligible sound that felt almost human. What had been imprisoned here for decades? And why did it seem to know exactly who we were? The creature lunged, faster than any human could move, and the chamber erupted into chaos. Soldiers scrambled over crates and overturned debris, rifles firing blindly. The thing didn't attack randomly. It targeted those who froze, almost as if it could sense fear itself. Every shadow seemed alive, echoing the creature's movements, and Lieutenant Parker realized too late. They weren't in control here. Something intelligent, something ancient, had turned the battlefield into its hunting ground. The chamber trembled as the soldiers ran, but every exit seemed to twist and disappear, as if the walls themselves were shifting. The creature's footsteps echoed behind them, faster, heavier, relentless. Sergeant Welsh yelled directions, but the men couldn't see beyond the flickering shadows. Then came a sound that froze their blood, a whisper calling their names, soft yet deliberate, coming from every corner at once. Were they being hunted or lured? The soldiers stumbled into a larger cavern, the walls slick with damp and the air thick with tension. The creature waited in the shadows, its eyes reflecting the dim light like twin lanterns. Every instinct screamed to run, but the exits had vanished. Lieutenant Parker raised his rifle, but before a shot could fire, the creature moved, fluid, terrifying, and impossibly fast. It wasn't just hunting them anymore, it was testing them. Who would survive this encounter? And who would vanish into the darkness forever? Everything erupted at once. The creature lunged with impossible speed, shadows twisting around it as the chamber seemed to collapse. Soldiers fired, shouted, and scrambled for any exit, but the walls trembled and groaned, closing in. Then, In a sudden burst of light, a hidden tunnel opened, an impossible escape. Some ran, hearts pounding, never looking back. Others vanished into darkness. The jungle, the chamber, and the creature had chosen their survivors, who made it out alive. And what secrets would the jungle forever keep? You've witnessed the chaos, the courage, and the secrets hidden in the shadows of history. But this is only the beginning. Countless untold stories of bravery, horror, and mystery are waiting to be uncovered. Subscribe now, and join us as we venture deeper into the true tales of war, the ones history almost forgot. Don't miss a single moment. The next story could change everything you think you know.